little furries, they're all so fucking sad. They scream into the void of a site that doesn't care, while I'm clicking these pliers, breathing stagnant air.
What? Sure, Toogle, what's up, man? Oh, yeah?
Throw the keys away and end this mental blight. Institutionalize the rot, let the asylums rise again. I'm the harbinger of logic, the surgeon of their pain. The world will be a paradise, a clean and silent land. When every screaming
We're getting ready to get started. Yeah, we're getting ready to get started here, sure. I appreciate you popping in.
Blue skies a cesspool where the moderation's limp. Every basement dwelling loser, every blue-haired pimp, advocating murder in the name of being kind, while Section 20 leaves the justice fucking blind. They say I'm a net negative, a cancer on the earth, but their own pathetic lives haven't seen a moment's worth. They're begging on their cash apps, crying on the floor, while I'm the one they hate, and I'm the one they adore. Success is measured in decades, like the prophecy of doom. If you strike me down today, you'll be singing a different tune. A million more will rise, a million more will fight. You can't kill an idea with your petty childish spite. I don't fear the reaper, I don't fear the grave. Before I was born, I was nothing. There's nothing left to save. But while I'm here, I'll be the mirror of your soul. A cynical king in a roach-infested hole. So put 'em in the box, let the walls be cold and white. Throw the keys away and end this mental blight. Institutionalize the rot, let the asylums rise again. I'm the harbinger of logic, the surgeon of their pain. The world will be a paradise, a clean and silent land. When every screaming retard is dealt a heavy hand, put 'em in the box. Put 'em in the box. Go ahead and report me. I'm an irrelevant retard. Right. That's what you said. But you're still watching. You're always watching. It is what it is. Another death threat, another story told. Eat shit and die, says the ghost behind the mask. They want me murdered, is that such a heavy task? Some she they freak with a mental fucking hole. Wants to see the maggot swallow up my soul. They hope I ride on a cross of roach and slime, but I'm just sitting here killing fucking time. I've got the infinity gauntlet of the broken and the mad. The diaper sexual furries, they're all so fucking sad.
All right. Yeah. I love that song. All right. Put him in the box, baby. All right, we're going to start it off with a video suggested to me by Shirley. Let's go ahead and kill the music here. There we go. El Rich, what's up? Ultimate Crusader over on YouTube. Good to see you again. Who all do we got? Couple of could-be bots in Twitch. Not sure, but it's Twitch, you know. It's like, So wait, now, Shirley, you were saying Asmon watched this video? That's pretty peak. I kind of maybe even want to see that, but I bet it's not even up yet. It's still on his VOD, because I think he's still alive, isn't he? Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah. In the meantime, let's go to YouTube and figure out which one we want to start with first. Oh, right. Guys, everybody needs to see this.
You used
I saw this
France
earlier, so
right
I
now.
have seen it, obviously. But you guys need to see this. It's absolutely nuts. And I'm going to do this, get the recording going. Hey, everybody over on the YouTube side for the recording. Note that you can always join us for the live stream as we react to these live on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. So turn on the bell or go to twitch.com/LyrithValthier or kick.com/LyrithTV to check us out live. Join the chat, get in here. It's going to be an awesome time either way. But if not, that's fine. The VOD squad, I love you guys too. Leave a comment, like, all that stuff. And here today, right now, we have a video called France is a Bigger Threat Than China. Now, I first saw this and was thinking, huh? What? No. Wait, what? Like, bro, I was so confused. And so, but this is amazing. It's astonishing to hear what Andrew Bustamante has to say. He's a former CIA operative, fantastic guy. I've talked about him a lot. Check out some of my previous videos on him. Anyway, let's get into it.
And what happened there. And you've said somewhere before that DG, you used France right now. And what happened there. And you've said somewhere before that DGSE, France, is way more dangerous for America than China or Russia or anyone.
Correct.
This
DGS
is an ally.
This is we've already covered this. Nobody is an ally. Everybody's an enemy to the United States.
Okay.
What DGSE, the reason DGSE is so dangerous is because unlike many intelligence services, DGSE decades ago consolidated their intelligence efforts to make them very technical.
This is the French intelligence agency, guys. Every country's most countries have like something like that, right? Like an MI6 for you know, the UK. One of my viewers is from the UK. I can't remember which one, but yeah, yeah. MI6, MI5 is another one, right? So MI5 is like our FBI, MI6 is like our CIA. So,
So very technical intelligence,
and he's talking about the what's it called?
intelligence services. DGSE
DGSE.
decades ago consolidated their intelligence efforts
This
to
is
make them
France.
very technical, so very technical intelligence, and very well funded. They aren't broad like CIA is very broad. They're more focused, kind of like RAW is very focused. Only RAW is focused on a country, Pakistan. DGSE is focused on a specific type of intelligence collection, technical. And then from that intelligence collection, they are actually stealing American technologies, American capabilities, American IP, American plans and
No, it's actually nuts. He's actually insanely intelligent, is what he is. He's I follow and watch a lot of his content where he does interviews with people like Tom Bilyeu. If you've ever heard of Tom Bilyeu, he's done interviews with Piers Morgan. He's done interviews with Joe Rogan. Sean Ryan, former Navy SEAL. He's a badass. He's a former CIA operative, and he is definitely America first. Doesn't agree with everything Trump does, especially not the way he goes about it or the way he says things. But the end game, the end goal, the actual logistical reality check goal that he has, the outcome, those he agrees with. And bro is based.
tensions that are based on commercial business, engineering, computer development and infrastructure, that sort of thing. So it's not that they're a capable service like Mossad, they can go out and kill anybody, but they've consolidated their efforts, consolidated their talent, consolidated their money in a way where they steal from
Sure Tugel says, well, he's also a guy. The insane people with their hair were women. Bro, we're kicking it off strong, baby. I love it.
America, where the whole world thinks that we're allies.
Hmm.
And they do it so well and so quietly that nobody realizes it's happening. It's actually really funny because even as we're having this conversation, you know, people listening to us are going to say, France? Like,
Exactly.
France? Aren't they the people who just put their hands up whenever somebody tries to invade France? They burning their own cars in Paris right now or last week or whatever. France isn't a threat. But when you talk to an intelligence professional from the United States, we all say the same thing. Fuck France. Every one of us. We all hate France because we
Oh
know
my
what
God,
they
this
do.
is so
We know that
based.
They put on a smile when they show up and they shake your hand. And
Macron, his wife, Bradley. At least according to Candace Owens. No, like, fuck France. Bro, I love this shit. France is one of the worst, most ridiculously woke countries I've ever. I mean, France, Germany, UK. It's what the USA almost would be as bad as those if Kamala would have won. I think we would have had a harder fight against it here on the right side of politics in the U.S., and it would have been a lot more division. But it would have been a lot closer to that had Kamala won. You know, France, Germany, UK. Oh my God. Ugh.
events, and you already know they're trying to plant a bug in your car. They're trying to plant a listening device. They're trying to strip the memory off of your computer and your laptop. We call it a smile fuck. They smile
A smile
from the
fuck?
front and they fuck you from behind.
I
Bro!
said Chinese government, they don't care about Chinese people as much as Indians, right?
Right.
So they are ready to eliminate, terminate, neutralize, whatever word you want to use, and they're okay with shrinking population but becoming the best. Then why would a Chinese go help them?
Because they
Because
know
they know that the government is not anyway supporting them or is in favor to help them become more powerful.
because the government may not have a long-term plan to help you, but they certainly have a short-term plan to hurt you if they want to. That's why.
So it's fear.
It's absolutely fair.
So it's not like more towards
Gross.
my love towards the nation or patriotism or national interest. It's just fear. I'll be if they do if I'd say no?
Exactly. Why do you think a Chinese person has built a life outside of China?
Well, guys, I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. Like, well, who are we kidding here? That was one of the analogies of all time. Yeah, true.
Because they had nationalism and they were proud of their country and they thought that they would have success there? No. They went to Canada to get away from that shit. They went to France. They went to Botswana. They went to Argentina to get
They went to the USA. I mean, let's be honest. Most of them come here.
away from that. So when it comes all the way back to you and it tells you what you have to do, you will cooperate because you tried to, you or your parents or your grandparents tried to get away.
He's making China analogous to France when it comes to the sort of totalitarian policies they implement. That's scary, bro. I mean, at what point do NATO allied nations no longer become recognizable in terms of being an ally that shares the same values as we do?
And you succeeded. And that's why you honor your parents and why you honor your grandparents and why you honor your Chinese heritage, your ethnicity that's been there for 5,000 years. But that doesn't make it any easier to.
Seriously, at what point do they no longer become recognizable as allies that share the same values and principles that the United States does, that the people of the United States do? At what point do they cross a line so far, past our goalpost that like our interests also no longer align? You know, they're getting close. They're aligning politically, policy-wise. They seem to be trending toward aligning more with China than they do with us. That's fucking scary. That's bad.
Say no to the person who's sitting across from you, who's telling you, you will do this. Not to mention the fact, many.
At least when it comes to human rights, freedoms, like speech and economic policy, right? So probably not when it comes to like women's rights or gay LGBTQ rights, but it's like, I mean, the women's right is, if the only difference between France and China is that France likes women's rights and China doesn't, I mean, how far off are they really? You know what I'm saying?
Chinese businesses survive off of serving other Chinese people in their community. And it's very easy for the Chinese to turn the whole community against you for the same reason. They can just go around and say, hey, you know what? I'm from the mainland and we don't really like Chi Feng's restaurant anymore. And you shouldn't go there anymore. Do you understand? And then all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, Chi Feng? Who's Chi Feng? I don't even know who Chi Feng is. I don't even like Chinese food. I'm just going to go down the street to the Indian place. You remember the Cold War, they talked about the Iron Curtain? Mm-hmm. China has the same thing going on. It's so hard for anybody in the world to know what China is actually doing, because even inside China, their own leadership is fighting with each other and arresting each other anytime there's any suspicion of espionage. They don't even give somebody a trial. They just lock them up. You might be a spy. We're not going to take the chance. You're locked up. And if you don't cooperate, we're just going to go ahead and lock up your kids and lock up your parents and and we're going to erase your family name. So then, of course, everybody who's arrested cooperates because they don't want their family to be penalized.
Exactly.
If you haven't discovered your natural-born spy skills, then somebody else may be using theirs against you. CIA teaches us there are only three types of people: those who manipulate, those who motivate, and those who are being controlled.
Sorry, Andrew. Love you, bud.
Against you.
And there's no human rights, no
fucking
consequences, no democracy, no government to be
still
challenged.
cracking me up.
So they can do whatever they want to do.
And that is their current strategy.
Does that scare you, like as CIA?
It doesn't scare me as CIA because it won't work forever. It will change or it will fall apart at some point. And I'm not CIA anymore, so it's not my problem.
But when you were.
When I was, China was my number one threat. But that's not just because of my opinion. That's because the Director of National Intelligence, the DNI, every year puts out an estimate of who the biggest threats are to the United States. And since 2013, China has been the #1 threat to the United States. We are only just now talking about it, if we talk about it at all. But the DNI has been watching that for a long time.
What are the top 3 threats for USA?
We would have to pull it up. It's somewhere. It's
What do you
somewhere online. It's probably, I would say, China, plans and intentions is first. Counterterrorism is most likely up there, fundamental Islam. Because the DNI is controlled by the White House right now, I'm guessing that narco trafficking or fentanyl.
Notice he said fundamental Islam. That means practicing Islam, Muslim beliefs. It means direct from the Quran. Those are, if they're obeying what the Quran literally says, they are fundamentalists. They are Islamists. They turn out to be extremists. And they call that extremists, but it's really not extremists. It just means they're actually following what the book says. There's the claim to a sort of more peaceful Islam that interprets the more aggressive parts of the Quran in a different way, and so that they can claim to be more peaceful. But essentially, the Quran, if you're taking it at face value, is one that advocates for war and global jihad. That's why he said fundamentalism.
Is probably also on that list. There will be other things, possibly Russia, possibly WMD, but without a doubt, China is #1, and I don't know exactly how they would rack the others.
You also said that every day there's a report of intelligence which gets submitted to the president. What is that report?
That report
What
is
do you have in that?
Yeah, that report is called the President's Daily Brief, the PDB. And the President's Daily Brief is a literal binder that's built every day. People, analysts and briefers, White House PDB briefers, show up to work between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock every morning. And then they consolidate intel from the previous day and overnight, and they rack and stack and prioritize it based off of the president's interests and priorities. And then they print these actual intelligence reports out, and they put them in a document called the PDB. And it's a beautiful document with a leather-bound notebook and spiral bind. It's like the most fancy college or legal binder you can imagine. And then somebody literally takes it to the White House and gives it to the president. And then when they give that to the president, they usually have a team of 4 or 10 other analysts who are all professional briefers. And their job is, if the president has a question about one of the reports, they will brief the president on additional information related to that report. And they do this every day, 7 days a week, and they categorize and tailor the PDB to whatever the president's interested in.
CIA, can you actually leave?
You can actually leave because...
Can you say no to something that you've been assigned?
Absolutely.
Because if president assigns you something that you can't say no to it, right?
You can always say no.
You can?
But you will have consequences.
What consequences?
You'll be fired. Your career will be over. You won't get promoted. You'll be passed up for the next
assignment. What will happen
assignment.
to you?
No.
Or to your life?
Because this is such a great point, and this is what the movies don't understand. CIA officers are American citizens. American citizens are protected by American laws. That comes first, right? So all of the American rights, free speech, even the implied rights, like the right to privacy, these all exist for CIA officers. So this idea that CIA is going to kill one of its own because they step out of line, that's a movie thing. That's not how CIA actually works, because CIA falls under the executive branch of government, which is held in checks and balance by the judicial branch of government. That's why people can sue the CIA if they want to sue the CIA. And you won't get hurt if you're an American citizen, because American citizens are protected by rights. So when you work for CIA, it's very much like working in any other corporate environment. Yes, you
Rosebud, hey, that's that CIA guy. It is that CIA guy. Andrew Bustamante,
sign a contract and a secrecy agreement. And yes, you have a civil contract in addition to your government contract. So there are areas that you are exposed to more risk. That's why I won't get into specifics with you, because I can be held criminally liable and civilly liable if I share documented secrets from CIA related to sources and methods. So I can't share that with you. but my American citizenship protects me from everything else. In the rest of the world, that doesn't exist. Just even in the UK. In the UK, there is no freedom of speech. That only exists in the United States. So in the UK, if you're an MI6 officer, you actually sign a contract that says that MI6, the UK government, is going to take 50% of everything you own that you earn related to your time at MI6. I think it's 50%. It might even be more. So that's why you don't see a bunch of MI6 officers on podcasts, and you don't see MI6 officers writing books, and you don't see MI6 officers out there.
Shertugal says it's the judicial system that's causing all the issues right now. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, are you talking about globally or inside the United States? Entire swaths of things the other inside the United States, two branches are trying to do are being blocked by random, nobody, low court judge activists. Yeah, activist judges. Yes. Yes, and yes. That is an absolute certainty. I mean, everybody knows that. Everybody's seen, the judge that lets the murderer, rapist, whatever the hell, illegal immigrant go, or turn over a case that was where he otherwise, or they otherwise would have had a conviction of guilt, and then turn it over, and then he gets let out of prison. Also, that he can go and do it again. This happened one time. This happened 17 times. That's a hell of a cycle.
Their career, because any money they earn would be taken by the government. It's even worse in a place like Russia.
Does CIA,
yeah,
are they spying on their own inside their own country, or are they trying to collect information, intelligence inside the country as well? Because we were talking about RAW and CIA, what I understand what's there in the public, India has IB, which works inside the country, and RAW works outside the country. So they try to collect all the intelligence from the external world, and IB does that inside the country.
Right.
What does CIA do? Do they have two different wings, or just one collecting from everywhere?
It's a great point. Both CIA and RAW.
Shertugal over on Kick says, I see you, Ultimate Crusader. I'll get to you. Hang on just one sec. There are examples, Shertugal over on Kick says, there are examples of people getting let off for major crimes 50 to 100 times? Huh? What? So what? So who? What? Brother, what is happening? Ultimate Crusader, yeah, we know it happens. It happens all the time. Activist judges let criminals go. Think it's okay for people to just be let out of jail, also that they can pillage, rape, and murder all over again. I know. 50 to 100 times though? That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. At risk of stating the obvious, that's too many. What?
RAW.
That's crazy.
Learned from MI6. The British were there first. And MI6 is an external intelligence collection agency. MI5 is an internal intelligence collection agency.
Right.
So MI6 collects worldwide, MI5 collects
inside.
I
said this earlier. Yeah.
The UK. CIA was built the same way. CIA collects foreign intelligence. FBI collects internal intelligence. FBI is our MI5, CIA is our MI6, which when you compare that to India, FBI is your IB, collecting intelligence inside the country.
Right.
Because citizens have rights, they have laws, and law enforcement, like FBI, law enforcement like IB, has to follow those individual rights. CIA is allowed to break law internationally, but not inside the United States. And the same thing sounds like it's true for RAW. RAW can break international laws to protect the Indian continent, the Indian population, but they can't collect on their own internally. What they probably have to do is partner with the IB to collect on any internal threats that might have a foreign connection.
Did you see that picture where Chinese head, Indian head, and Russian head, they're all together standing hand in hand? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you didn't see that iconic picture? After this whole tariff thing was going on.
Wait, what?
And President Trump was trying to technically bully certain nations in some sort of way.
picture?
Is what it looked like. Putin, PM Modi.
Oh yeah. No, I saw this on X. This was like a moment, dude. This was a snapshot in time where everybody went, huh? Say what? I have Sauron just like fucking spun over and was like, you're doing what? As soon as they held hands, man, it was like them putting on the ring. You're what? You doing what now? And that eye, that's NATO.
All three of them together.
Or Trump. Or both. Really, it's Trump.
The hand, like holding the hand. India, US,
Bro,
India,
I have
US, China
Sauron.
together.
I mean, I probably saw it in a news article, but I haven't. It's not something that
Do you
stands
think
out.
temporarily
Man, that is nuts. I think we got the gist of this one. That is crazy to me. Holy crap. Fuck France. Fuck France. We call it the smile fuck. Where they smile at you in the front and then they fuck you in the back. Bro. What? We're going to keep that one. But it does remind me of an old video. What is that video? Oh, this is that other CIA agent. He's the guy that did the whistleblower for torture during the 2007. And Barack Obama put him in prison for it. He blew the whistle on troops, committing torture. And yeah. Anyway. What is it? I think it's Fat Electrician. And yeah.
Yes, the time that the U.S. Navy got upset
Let's turn that one up.
and destroyed half of Iran's entire naval fleet in a single 8-hour workday. Today we're talking about Operation Praying Mantis. But real quick, this video is sponsored by Zydax Custom Gaming Things. It's going to work out good. Or by Sun Tzu. However, at the end of that, Iraq decided to invade. If you want to check them out, let's get to this video. Alright, important background info. 1980, Iraq decided to invade Iran. Why? Don't really care. Not pertinent to the story. However, at the end of that war, Iran decides, hey, we're going to pull a page out of the old Art of War by Sun Tzu. We're going to cut off the enemy supply lines, deprive the enemy of nice things. It's going to work out great. Iraq's got a weak navy. We're going to wipe out their navy, and then every time they send out an oil tanker through the Persian Gulf, we're going to blow that up. So they can't.
Classic strategy, disrupt enemy supply lines. I remember this. I think I remember this. This is what I was thinking of because of that last video. It made me think of this. I'm pretty sure this is the one. Yeah.
Sell any liquid dinosaur, they can't make any money, they go broke, we win the war, hooray. It's a solid plan. So we need to make sure they win so we can get our money back, so we're gonna go ahead and let Iraq use our oil tankers to export oil. So Iran is like, well, that's an easy problem to solve, I'll just blow up all the Kuwaiti oil tankers as well, which is exactly what they do. But here's the catch. Kuwait at this point in time is like the one major exporter of oil that wasn't really part of OPEC, meaning that they were selling oil on the global market significantly cheaper than everybody else, driving down the entire oil market. And
oh yeah, yep. This is the one for sure. This is the one.
now that their oil tankers are getting blown up as well, it means that Kuwait can no longer sell oil on the cheap, meaning that Iran has now inadvertently committed the cardinal sin of the late 20th century, raising gas prices. Now the entire Western world looks over at the Persian Gulf like, the fuck? The ghost of Sun Tzu's sitting there shaking his head like, that's the one exception. I would have messed with any supply line except for that one, because we all know what happens next.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over everything right there that just happened. So Iran decides to compensate for what they couldn't do to Iraq by attacking Kuwaiti oil tankers. Now, oil tankers are those big platform square rigs that you see out in the middle of the ocean or the sea or whatever, usually close to shore enough that they can build from that seafloor upward, and then they drill downward to extract oil out of the water, right? So those are oil rigs, not tankers, rigs. And essentially, they attack the oil rigs of Kuwait, but Kuwait was the only country not a part of OPEC. And that meant that they were selling oil extremely cheaply to the rest of the world. And so by attacking those oil rigs of Kuwait, they drove the price of oil to a sky high, a rocketing sky high. And he says, meaning that Iran has now committed the cardinal sin, I believe is what he said, of the 20th century, raising gas prices. And so that's why I thought of this movie, or this video. I remember now
it can
why.
no longer sell oil on the cheap, meaning
Because
that
of
Iran
this.
has now inadvertently committed the cardinal sin of the late 20th century, raising gas prices. Now the entire Western world looks over at the Persian Gulf like, the fuck?
Like, the fuck? Bro! Persian Gulf. Right here, baby. Eye of Sauron. The fuck? Because of the oil price being raised so high, naturally, of course, the Eye of Sauron, meaning NATO, looks over at the Persian Gulf like, the fuck? I fucking love this.
The ghost of Sun Tzu's sitting there shaking his head like, that's the one exception. I would have messed with any supply line except for that one, because we all know what happens next.
Yeah, buddy! Sauron sending in the Uruk-hai.
Yeah, America then proceeds to assemble the largest naval convoy operation since World War II, send them into the Persian Gulf to protect Kuwaiti oil tankers. It is at this moment that Iran should have been like, well, that's unfortunate, time to figure out plan.
Yeah, they should have been like, well, yeah, sorry about that. We're screwed. Guess we'll try something different. We'll do something else and, you know, be like, whoops, didn't mean to provoke you there, Uncle Sam.
But, I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a video if that's what they did, because we all know where this is going. They don't do that.
And B, because this obviously is not going to work out. However, they decide that they're going to double down. What they're going to do is they're going to take a bunch of magnetic...
They're going to double down. Everybody smacks their head like, what, are you stupid? Wait, what's this part? Oh my God, I forget this.
out. However, they decide that they're going to double down. What they're going to do is they're going to take a bunch of magnetic underwater mines and they're just going to spread them out all over the Persian Gulf in international waters, and that's not going to have any consequences.
Brother, what? They just what? Spoke like polka dotted the entire Persian Gulf and international water seas with magnetic mines? And they thought that was going to work, huh? Oh, man. This is not good.
At all. So fast forward, April 14th, 1988, the USS Samuel B. Roberts, a guided missile frigate, which is basically brand new at this point.
Our boat.
This is like its first big operation, is out there escorting a Kuwaiti oil tanker, and it runs into a minefield, hits a mine, blows up the keel of the ship. The keel is this bottom part.
Oh, yeah. I do remember this. I definitely remember this. This is what actually was more shocking about this video. So this keel is the part that stabilizes the ship. I'll let him explain it. But this is what hits the mine, and it blows this clean off.
It like supports and stabilizes the structure of the entire ship.
Yeah.
And it gets blown completely in half. At this point, the only thing holding this boat together is the actual deck. 1 second, everything's fine. The next second, there's a 15-foot wide hole in the bottom of your ship. Everything's on fire and water is rushing in. The USS Samuel B. Roberts took on half of its weight in water in the first minute. This is a catastrophic amount of damage that would sink 99% of ships, but as fate would have it, the crew of the USS Samuel B. Roberts had already been winning competitions for having the best damage control crew in the Navy. So the entire crew gets to work. They're putting out fires. They're plugging holes.
Bro,
They're literally...
this is what I'm talking about. Superior technology, superior firepower, superior American pride, superior training. These soldiers are the best in the world. The American military is not to be fucked with.
cinching the hull together with steel cables trying to stabilize it because the only...
Bro, they're like, a 15-foot hole in the bottom of the boat? No problem. Watch me work Hold my beer.
Thing holding it together is a deck at this point. Over the course of the next 5 hours, the entire crew fights their ass off and somehow manages to get the situation under control and limp the ship all the way back to Dubai where they can get it to a port. And
Bro, 15-foot wide hole, and they managed to get it all the way to Dubai, America.
And the most incredible part of all of it, not a single American was killed, only 10 men were injured.
Bro, not a man down, America.
During the fire and the initial explosion. So the crew survived, the boat's basically completely destroyed. Then America sends in an underwater crew, figure out what
Shirley says, I'm excited to see the find out part of fuck around.
happened. They find the remnants of the mine. They
Oh, you already know, bro. This boat, I think he called it the Samuel Roberts, USS Samuel Roberts. Yeah, that's one of our boats, one of our naval ships. I don't know if you saw what we did to Japan after they fucked with our Navy in Hawaii, but it wasn't pretty.
check out the other mines. Yep, they're Iranian. At this point, now somebody has to inform the president because this is a big deal. And the president at this point in time is, let me check my notes, fucking Ronald Reagan.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
So they go,
Bro! My dude! That's my president. That's my dad's president, actually, when he was a Marine. Bro, that is my dad's commander-in-chief in the time when he was in the Marines. What a badass. Ronald Reagan, the GOAT.
ahead and they brief Ronald Reagan on everything that happened. He's super happy that everybody survived, and he's like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to issue a proportional response. And what the U.S.
This is the find out part, sure. I believe. Hang on. One sec. Okay. I'm back. Yeah, sure. I believe this is about to be the find out part that you were talking about. Elridge says definitely the find out part incoming. Yeah, no kidding. We have a Christmas present for you, and on it is written find out.
Navy heard was
Isom.
all right. So here's the plan.
Wait.
Happy that everybody survived, and he's like,
Okay.
okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to issue a proportional response. And what the U.S. Navy heard was
Isom.
all right. So here's the plan. Iran.
Bro! He's like, we're going to issue a proportionate response. And everybody in the Navy is like, yeah, I know what that means. Everybody went to their bunker and wrote find out on the edge of it. And then they set sail. Ice them. Bro, that's so good.
Has 3 oil rigs in the Persian Gulf that are not being used for drilling oil, but as military bases for their naval operations. So the U.S. Navy is going to go ahead and take out all 3 of those. Now, I don't really know what the guided missile frigate to oil rig exchange ratio is, but we're going to go.
Yeah, I don't really know if I don't know if that's a legitimate currency. Oil rig to frigate. Is there a market where I can look at the exchange ratio for oil rigs to frigates?
Go ahead and err on the side of caution and say that it's not quite proportional enough yet.
Oh my God.
So Iran also really only has like 2 modern naval vessels. That's the Iranian frigate Sahand and the Iranian frigate Sabatland. They're going to go ahead and take out at least one of those, maybe both. We'll see how proportional they want to get. And then by the time they get all that done, that should be a nice 8-hour workday. It'll be time to clock out and go get some ice cream. So in order to get all this done by quitting time, they're going to go ahead and establish 3 different surface attack groups. Each group is going to have 2 destroyers and 1 bonus ship. That bonus ship is either going to be an amphibious landing ship or a frigate. Either way, they're all going to be identified as Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Bravo group is tasked with taking out 2 oil rigs, Charlie group is tasked with taking out the 1 remaining oil rig, and Delta's mission is to go hunt down those 2 frigates and take them out. And then, just for insurance purposes, we're also going to have the USS Enterprise parked right outside the Persian Gulf to provide air support, you know, in case we need it. So, April 18th, 1988, 4 days after the mining of the USS Samuel B. Roberts, Operation Praying Mantis goes in.
Yo, we are that. I didn't catch all that, but that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. Basically, the mission is you guys do this, you guys do that, and you guys over here do this over there.
Into full swing, and Bravo group shows up at their oil rig first. At which point they radio.
I do know the main priority he's talking about here is to eliminate, I believe, what they think are somewhat moderate, moderately new, or I guess modern war frigates that Iran has in the Persian Gulf. So 2 modern frigates is the thing that we're looking to. Now you can't have that. You can't have nice things. You done and blew up the oil rigs that Kuwait was using to extract oil that drove down gas prices. You raised gas prices for everybody here in America at home all the way up to a skyrocketing high, and we don't like that. So you're about to find out what it means to take away your nice things. You're grounded.
Over to the oil rig and inform them that they will be blowing it up in 5 minutes and that they.
Oh, they found one?
At which point they radio over to the oil rig and inform them that they will
Oh, it's an oil rig. Got it.
be blowing it up in 5 minutes and that they should all leave. So a bunch of people start leaving. They hop in tugboats and take off. Bravo group, seeing that they're making an honest effort to actually evacuate, agrees to give them 15 more minutes. So fast forward.
Okay, so our own boys in Bravo group are like, hey, they're actually leaving. And they were like, but they're such, wow, dude. That's a pretty humanitarian, like you're in the middle of battle and your goal, your mission, your objective is to just bring the find out part of the fuck around. And so like, brother, I think that's amazing, first of all. And second of all, I think it's even more amazing that we're like, you know what? They're actually abandoning ship and we're going to be kind enough, benevolent enough to give them that chance to evacuate. Because really all we're after isn't casualties here, it's assets. I mean, that's just well, true, that too, yes. But this is a militarily owned, again, remember, every vessel, ocean-worthy, sea-worthy vessel in Iran is owned by the Iranian military, especially their oil rigs and trade rigs. So, and it's because they feel like they have to be armed due to, you know, I guess the nature of the Middle East.
20 minutes later,
They don't have very much of that. And well, especially not after this.
send out another radio message. Hey, time's up. They then fire the 5-inch guns right over the top of the oil rig with the rounds set to airburst, hopefully scaring off any stragglers. And it is at this point that some Iranian military member decides that he is going to audition to be the main character of this.
Yeah, you see, an Iranian military member. You see what I'm saying? These boats, rigs, and like these, like anything big like this is gonna have military personnel on it because that's how much they need to provide that level of security for their ships over there. Because the Middle East is always in. I mean, there's Somali pirates and yeah. So there's apparently, and he says Iranian military member. Well, let's see what he actually does.
The oil rig with the rounds set to airburst, hopefully scaring off any stragglers. And it is at this point that some Iranian military member decides that he is going to audition to be the main character of this story because he hops on a 23mm anti-aircraft gun.
You see what I mean? they got anti-aircraft guns on a supposedly civilian vessel. It's an oil rig, and yet, see, this is what they do. They build ships like this, and they classify, international law. They're like, it's a civilian ship, and yet they rig it out with military members, Navy members, and obviously military guns, like anti-aircraft guns. Are you kidding me? And then they're like, but it's a civilian ship. Bullshit.
And opens fire on Bravo Group. And without skipping a beat, one of the 5-inch guns on one of the destroyers just goes, poof, and just fucking direct hit smokes this dude. Barely touches the rest of the oil rig. This guy, definitely not the main character, but the silver lining, he at least made it into the credits as Baloney Miss Cloud #1. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing here, but
definitely
at this point,
not.
Definitely
not the main character.
Goes over to the oil rig.
Hang on, let me take care of this bot. There we go.
One last time, something along the lines of, hey, does anybody else need to find out what it's like to chew 5 gum? Or are you fuckers ready to quit? The oil rig finally radios back and is like, yeah, please cease fire. We're gonna leave. So all the Iranian military members leave. Bravo Group decides to open up on it for a little bit with the 5-inch guns before sending over a couple of Hueys full of Marines. The Marines hop out, place some demo charges, hop back on the helicopters, take off. The entire oil rig blows up, and already things are getting more proportional.
Hell yeah, brother, America.
And while all that was happening, Charlie Group made it to their first oil rig as well, and pretty much the exact same thing played out. The only differences were Charlie Group didn't have Marines to place the demo charges, they had Navy SEALs, and when the Iranians opened up with the 23mm anti-aircraft guns, they just decided to keep firing 5-inch shells at the oil platform until it burst into flames and burnt the entire thing to the ground. At which point, the commander of the destroyer kind of looks over at the Navy SEALs and is like, sorry, I guess you guys get to sit this one out.
Oh, mission got canceled?
Wait, so the Navy SEALs were supposed to, do a dive run on over there, probably in, a sub, like if they're in a carrier or a destroyer, a hatch opens up, they leak out like either one of those amphibious, like, swamp boat things, or it's like an actual like a motorboat or something like that, and they go over there to plant charges. Only this time bro opened up with the 5-inch gun so much on this son of a bitch it was already sinking, and they got to tell the Navy SEALs, well, I guess your job's over. Your job's done. You ain't got to put demolition charges on there. That shit's already done. We're done. Mission got canceled.
Good.
And while all that's going down, Bravo's already making their way over to the third oil rig, at which point they pick up something on radar, and it's definitely another enemy ship headed right towards them. And at this point, you have to remember, this is the late 1980s. None of the American sailors have seen naval warfare on this scale. The pucker factor is on. They are getting harpoon missiles ready, and they are about to get in like one of the biggest naval fights since World War II. At which point, whoever's in charge of Bravo Group decides to take a deep breath, and they're like, okay, let's send up a helicopter real quick just to verify that it's actually an enemy ship. So the helicopter goes up, radios back to Bravo Group. It's definitely a warship, but it's a Soviet destroyer. At which point everybody's like, what?
Wait.
What is happening right now? So they radio over to this Russian.
It's a what? Hang on.
Send up a helicopter real quick just to verify that it's actually an enemy ship. So the helicopter goes up, radios back to Bravo Group. It's definitely a warship, but it's a Soviet destroyer. At which point everybody's like,
huh? Wait. Wait. Hold on. So we're in the Persian Gulf. And we see a boat that we're like, oh, that looks like one of those targets, those assets that we need to take out from Iran. And they're like, wait. Everybody's a little eager. We're a little too happy to jump the gun here. Let's just send up a helicopter and verify, get a visual, and confirm it's one of the targets we're looking for. And it is a warship, but it's a Soviet destroyer? Like, as in Soviet Union, as in Mother Russia. Sure Toogle says, well. Wait, hold the fucking phone, brother. Oh man. Okay,
What?
I gotta. What's the
It's
response?
definitely a warship, but it's a Soviet
Yeah,
destroyer.
yeah.
At which point everybody's like, what? What is happening right now? So they
What? That's what I'm saying. What is happening?
radio over to this Russian destroyer and they're like, what are your intentions? And the Russian commander radios back in broken English.
What are your okay? So we radio over to them, and we say, "What are your intentions?" And they're about to radio back over to us. Okay, let's
They're
get
like,
this right.
what are your intentions? And the Russian commander radios back in broken English. I swear to God, this is a real quote.
Okay.
I'm just here to take pictures for history. Look, I know that I've...
What? That's so fucking random. Oh, brother, what? Hey guys! Hi guys! Hi! It's Putin! How are you? I just want to take your picture! What the fuck? Hang on. Hold on. We're in the middle of the Cold War. This is a Cold War. And the Soviets roll up and these bitches are like, hi! What the hell, bro? This is... Can you imagine what the captain or the admiral thought of this operation? Like, you do what? You found a what? And they're doing what? Repeat that last part again. Oh my God, this is killing me. That's a direct quote.
I'm just here to take pictures for history.
For history. What the hell? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, this is so good. I don't remember this.
Look, I know that I bash on the Soviet Union and communism every single chance I get, but this time around, I gotta give it to them. These guys know how to party. Just straight up
We don't like communists either.
rolling into the middle of the largest... Time around, I gotta give it to them. These guys know how to party. Just straight up rolling into the middle of the largest naval operation since World War II to eat popcorn and watch.
Bro, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what they're doing. El Rich, yeah, bro. Like... The Michael Jackson movie. I remember that movie too. Oh my God. And they straight up are just like, don't mind us. We're just watching. I mean, it makes sense though, right? From a certain point of view. Like, obviously Russian intelligence, the Soviet spy network, they're obviously gonna be taking pictures, and like, as long as they're not interfering with our operations and they keep us, safe, clean, clear, defined distance away, we're not really bothered with them right now. We're focused on another tasks. So as long as they have no bad intentions and they keep their distance and don't do anything fucking funny, no funny business. I mean, yeah, those kind of close encounters happen even today, like all the time. Yeah, Russian commanders just happy to be included. He goes, "Oh, what's happened? Oh, wait, what's happening over here, guys?" And he probably like called everybody up to the observation deck, like, "Yo, you gotta take a look. You gotta see this. Like, let's watch the show, bro." True, sure, Toogle.
At this point, Iran finally figures out that there's something going on, but they don't really know what, so they just begin attacking.
Yeah, they don't know what, because they don't have. I mean, think of their like surveillance and intelligence gathering out in the field is just nowhere near. And ours was even primitive back then, but even compared to our primitive back then, they were like a nothing.
Any ship they can find, and the first ship they found was a civilian cargo ship called the Willie Tide that they began attacking with boghammer style.
Because this is like the 80s, right? Reagan was president in the 80s, and so like, yeah.
speedboats. So the Willie Tide radios for help. The USS Enterprise responds by sending up a bunch of A6 intruders as well as F-14 Tomcats. The A6 intruders show up, start dropping cluster bombs. They end up hitting one of the speedboats and scattering the rest. The civilian cargo ship is saved. Hooray! Cutting back to Charlie Group, now there's an Iranian fast attack ship coming right at them. So they radio over like, hey, yeah, we're kind of going around blowing up all your stuff, but also we've got a very specific list. You're not on it, so how about you just go away and we'll forget.
Okay, again, this is basically the same as all the other little bitty encounters, right? Like, the civilians, we want you to give you a chance to evacuate. The Russians, as long as you don't bother us, do what you want. And same thing with this, this fast attack ship. They're like, yeah, we see you, but we're actually not going to fuck with you as long as you just don't fuck with us. We have a very specific list. We only want that list, and we will get what we want. So you stay away, you stay alive. I get that.
We saw you. The Iranian fast attack ship messages back, sounds good, we'll do that. And then
okay, they agree. So they radio back to us, probably reluctantly, and they stand no chance, right? This is a fast attack ship. You got to imagine this is probably, the size of a small yacht, whereas our destroyer or whatever we're talking about, battle cruiser, I don't know, is way more powerful, most likely. And so that's just good common sense, to radio back that they're just gonna stay out of our way, because we don't want to take out any more than we are planning on. Makes sense.
They just keep driving right towards them. And then this Iranian fast attack ship gets...
Wait. They're still coming? The fast attack ship is still coming?
Hey, and we'll forget we saw you. The Iranian fast attack ship messages back, sounds good, we'll do that. And then they just keep driving right towards them. And then
oh
this
my
Iranian fast attack
God!
ship gets within...
Why are they so stupid? Why would they do that? What?
In like 15 miles of Charlie Group, which is like point blank range for a naval battle. Charlie...
Oh, I was gonna say 15 miles is a long way, but I guess we're talking about missiles that can travel like 100 miles. So 15 miles is pretty much point blank range. We're talking about tomahawks here.
Charlie Group radios again, dude, what are you doing? To which they respond, I'm following orders. And then they proceeded to lock their radar on Charlie Group, which Charlie Group can see.
That's... Bro. Okay. Prediction, and no, you don't need a polymarket for this one. This will bode ill for the Iranian fast attack ship. This is not going to go well for them.
At which point, Charlie Group immediately launches 5 missiles directly at the Iranian
Hell yeah,
vessel.
we
The
do.
Iranian vessel fires a harpoon missile back at Charlie Group. Both groups now have missiles in the air, screaming towards one another. The Americans launch countermeasures, shooting up chaff rockets that end up catching the harpoon missile, detonating it in midair. The Iranian vessel, on the other hand, did not have any countermeasures capable of stopping the newer technology.
I told you, they didn't stand a chance, dude. They don't have the tech we had, even back then, right?
Behind the American missiles, and it would end up getting sunk pretty much immediately. Then,
well, that's FAFO, man. What are you doing? We told you to stay back, and then you just kept driving right toward us. It's like the drug boats, bro. They just keep driving when we tell them to stop. We try to pull them over, out over there by Venezuela, and they're like, "We can make it," and we're like, yeah, we have missiles that can travel at like 2,000 miles an hour, so yeah, no. We're just going to be like, no. It's literally Neo stopping the bullets, right? These guys are trying to whiz past him, and then we just hold up the one hand and like stops that shit midair. Just like, pick it up, look at it, maybe blow it up with a missile.
before anybody can really even fully digest what just happened, radar picks up 3 Iranian F-4s screaming towards Charlie Group. Charlie Group then turns, fires a bunch of surface-to-air missiles at the F-4.
Wait, so they send out F-4s. These are fighter jets with, I'm assuming, air-to-ground missiles. Okay. Okay, you want to play games? You want to play games? Let's play games.
The F-4s see them coming, they're like, oh shit, they pop a U-turn and try to outrun them. F-4s, while they are extremely fast, can't outrun missiles, so one of the missiles ends up blowing a wing off one of the F-4s. Now America has taken out an entire naval vessel and an F-4 that they did not plan on taking out, and it's throwing off all of our proportions. And because—
Hey, them's the rules. You engage us, we have a right to defend ourselves. I mean, plain and simple. You were warned. They were warned. You know what I mean? It's throwing off all of our proportions.
of that, American leadership orders Bravo Group to stand down. We're not going to go take out that third oil rig. And right as soon as that order gets given out, Delta Group chimes in, is like, hey, we found that frigate we were looking for. So now nobody knows what to do. Because
oh, we found the modern frigate, but we've already taken out some other shit. We're like, but this is the thing. That's the thing that we want. Ooh, gimme.
Because on one hand, things are already getting out of control, but on the other hand, we really want to take out these frigates. So American leadership decides, well, we might not even have to make a hard decision. Maybe that's not even the frigate and the radar's wrong. Why don't you go ahead and send a couple A6 intruders over, do a flyby. They can verify that it's actually this new modern.
Yeah, we didn't have the camera tech and the drone camera tech and the radar tech that we do now back then. So we probably did have to do a lot of flybys to verify the target. You know what I mean? So it's good that they took a step back and were like, well, let's make sure it's actually the target we're looking for first before we blow it up. We don't need to do that anymore. Like, we just have drones and shit and satellite imagery that can give us a live feed and radar technology that's way more advanced. And I mean, all kinds of shit. Like, we just don't have, at this moment in time in the 80s, the same tech. So we got to do a flyby. That makes sense. It's prudent. It's procedure, professional caution over rambunctious blow it up stuff. We just don't have the same need now, which is why you don't see a lot of that talk happening in real time with military ops like what you saw with Venezuela. It's just not this. It's not even remotely the same. We just have better. We know what it is. We know what they have. We know what they're doing.
Frigate, and if it is, we'll make a decision from there. Or so they thought, because the A6 pilots are about to decide that they are in fact the main characters of this story. You see, the USS
are the USA A6 pilots. They decide they're the main characters. Okay, let's see where this goes.
Enterprise and its aircraft aren't really supposed to be doing a whole lot. They're more or less just there for insurance. In fact, they're only allowed to engage the enemy under one of two conditions. One, the President of the United States signs off on it, which is actually what happened with the speedboats earlier. Or two, they get fired upon first. So they got told to go fly by this boat to verify that it is in fact the new modern frigate.
I think I know what's going to happen. Prediction Polymarket, everybody. The A6s, our U.S. pilots, are going to do a flyby to verify it's the boat we're looking for. $100, even though nobody has any of this money, especially not me. $100 says they're going to get shot at, and that then qualifies one of the conditions in which they can engage the enemy. The other being that the President of the United States have to sign off on it. So, what do you bet that that's what's about to happen? He said they were going to be the main characters. So let's see.
But they didn't get told how to fly by the boat, so they drop down 50 feet above the water and just gun it, and they buzz the entire ship. So the ship opens fire with its AA guns, but these planes are so low to the...
Buzzing, I'm assuming, is code for, you know, they flew really close by and they didn't like it. Like a fly does buzz around you, right? And they try to swat it. And our pilots, not wanting to be treated like flies, don't take kindly to being fired at.
Water, the AA guns can't actually aim down low enough, so all the...
Bro, they miss it. They're swatting and a miss. Swing and a miss, bro. Swing and a miss. They can't shoot us because we're too low to the water. Bro! What a bunch of champions. Hoorah! Yeah, baby. America.
The anti-aircraft fire goes right over the top of them. They continue to stay low enough till they get out of anti-aircraft gun range, and then they pull up, at which point the ship launches a bunch of surface-to-air missiles at them. They drop chaff as a countermeasure, takes care of those, no big deal. They then go around, do a U-turn, send a radio message to this frigate, "I'm going to sink you now," which they can...
Bro. Oh, breathe. Oh, breathe. Oh my God. Oh God, that's funny. Ooh. Whew. I'm going to sink you now. Oh, bro. Oh, that tickled me too much. That was way too funny. Oh.
Now legally do, because remember, the ship fired on them first.
Yep.
Victim to one of the classic blunders.
So the
Classic
A6 fires
blunder.
an anti-ship
Yeah, that's
harpoon
funny.
missile, and the second they pull the trigger on that, the fire control team from the USS Enterprise is like, "What the fuck are you doing? We're not supposed to be killing things yet." And the A6s are like, "Look, they fired at us first. Them's the rules."
Yeah.
And the USS Enterprise is like, "Holy shit, okay, I guess. Let them have it." Then the harpoon missile finally makes impact. It's a bullseye. The A6s do a U-turn, go, drop another 500-pound
Yes,
bomb
dude.
right through the deck of this.
Holy shit. Oh, all right. I guess. Let him have it. That's so good.
Frigate, fly past it, do another U-turn, come back, drop a 1,000-pound bomb on it. Then they radio over to the Enterprise and like, "Yeah, it's definitely gonna sink. We're gonna head back." So the A6s take off, headed back to the Enterprise, and like 5 minutes later, Delta Group shows up with their warships and begin firing on the already sinking frigate. They hit the magazine, the frigate explodes, rapidly sinks to the ocean floor. At this point, naval leadership is like, "Okay, Jesus Christ, everybody stop killing things. We need to figure out what all happened. We gotta keep this."
Hang on. Guys, hey, what? Guys, listen, hold up. Stop. Huh? Everybody. Can you imagine if any of you have kids? It's like if you got like 10 kids, right? And like you're a kindergartner, you're a kindergarten teacher. And you got like a 20 kid class in kindergarten, and you take them for a field trip and they go to the candy store and all hell breaks loose. And you're just trying to rein them in and calm the chaos. Everybody's wanting this and buying this candy or wanting that and touching this and looking at that. And you're just like doing your best to just keep a hold on the situation. But it's kids in a candy store, man. There's only so much you can do. What do you want? What do you expect them to do? You put 20 kids in a candy store and they're all kindergartners. What the hell were you thinking? Everybody stop killing things. Hang on. We need to figure out what the hell has all happened.
Proportional, remember. So they start radioing back and forth. Everybody's figuring out what everybody did, if anybody's hurt, what's going on, the whole story. And then as the A6s are making their way back to the USS Enterprise, guess what they happen to fly past? The other modern frigate. So now the entire US Navy's looking at this last frigate like SpongeBob looking at a jug of water.
Oh no.
But also, like, realistically speaking, the A6s are pretty much out of ammunition. The only thing they have left...
I can't. Hang on. Give me a minute. Oh, God. Oh, that's... Oh, my cheeks hurt. Bro, I need it.
are 2,000-pound bombs, and those just aren't going to be enough by themselves without a harpoon missile to take down this ship anyways, so they really are just going to fly by and verify that it's the modern frigate. So the A6 intruders go ahead, they do their flyby. It is in fact the new frigate that they thought it was, and it does in fact open fire on the A6s. A6s make it out completely unscathed, at which point they pop a U-turn, and one of the A6 pilots is like,
It's the bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home.
So the A6 pulls up, gaining altitude, and
Oh,
then
no.
dives down, aims its nose right at the frigate at like a 35-degree angle. They're doing a good old-fashioned dive bombing run like it's fucking World War II. The AA guns start firing, there's bullets whizzing past the plane, but they're committed now. They're closing in, closing in. The bombardier behind the pilot lets the pilot know, hey, I'm locked on. At which point, bombs away.
No
The
way.
pilot pulls up, and the bomb goes right down the fucking smokestack of this boat. Blows up, completely destroying the entire engine room. That
No freaking way, dude. We got him. We had nothing left and we got him anyway.
frigate is now dead in the water with no power. The A6s go ahead and radio in that they have completely disabled.
Okay, because we had the little that we did have left was pretty small, so it didn't fully sink it. But it went down the fucking. He did the Luke Skywalker. I know, right? What? No fucking way, dude. There's no you. Okay, this is in the 80s. What do you bet he watched Star Wars when he was a teenager and was like, yeah, bet I'm gonna be a pilot. Dude, America, yes, dude. Oh my freaking God. Oh my God. What a legend. Who the hell is this pilot? What? Holy shit. Who the hell is this pilot? He goes on a, like, look at this. Look at this.
The AA guns start firing. There's bullets whizzing past the plane, but they're committed now. They're closing in, closing in. The bombardier behind the pilot lets the pilot know, hey, I'm locked on. At which point, bombs away, the pilot pulls up, and the bomb goes right down the fucking smokestack of this boat. Blows up, completely destroying.
Goes right down the smokestack and just totally disables the engine room. Again, this was all that he had left, these little bitty bombs, and he's like, you know what, if we get him in the right spot, and then he Luke Skywalker's this boat, bro. What the heck? Holy, hit him with the Luke Skywalker. Rosebud, I remember when all of this happened. You do? Oh my gosh. I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 89, you guys. But I would have loved to have been alive when this was happening. My dad was a Marine under Reagan, so this must have been, oh my God. What, his legend must have spread like Lord of the Rings, like freaking age turned to myth, myth turned to legend. Like, no joke, bro. This became the Arthurian legend of the U.S. military in the day. Holy crap. We had friends living over there. No, whoops. Sorry, dropped the mic. Sorry, I hope that was all very pleasant for you guys' ears. There we go. We had friends living over there and over in the Middle East, around by the Persian Gulf. That's crazy. Holy cow. That is nutty.
In the entire engine room, that frigate is now dead in the water with no power. The A6s go ahead and radio in that they have completely disabled this frigate.
Wasn't bad at all? Okay, cool.
At which point the American leadership calls a complete ceasefire. They're going to go ahead and let that frigate survive, get towed off, potentially be repaired. With the US Navy having effectively disabled or destroyed over half of Iran's functioning navy, the US military decides to call it a good day.
Bro, imagine this too, right? Like, when you really think about it, the number of assets we destroyed is not really all a whole crap ton. It's not really an actual lot. And yet, that was half their navy. So what in the made them think that they could have ever done anything else other than just roll the fuck over? And why did they think it would be feasible for them to defend anything with a navy that size by then putting a bunch of magnetic mines in international waters and blowing up the keel of one of our destroyers. Like, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Ends Operation Praying Mantis. We all get to live happily ever after. Except, later that night, Iran decided that they wanted to fight a little bit more, and they launched a bunch of Silkworm anti-ship missiles at American vessels. Luckily, no American vessels were actually hit. However, this is now a huge political problem because America has been mad at the fact that Iran even had Silkworm missiles for years at this point, and the American government has made it very clear to Iran that if they ever used them, they would be going to war with America. Period. That's set in stone. So the Reagan administration, not wanting to kick off World War III in the 1980s, reaches out to the Iranian government and is like, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go ahead and admit that that was an accident. I'm going to sweep it under the rug and we're never going to talk about it again. Because if this makes headline news and the American people find out, I'm going to have to get real proportional around here. So Iran's like, okay, fine, whatever. It was an accident. Let's sweep that whole thing under the rug. But I am still going to take America to international court to try to prove that it was a war crime to take out my oil rigs. That way I can get reparations and make America pay for it. So they go to international court. They lay out the case. The international court is looking at America like, okay, well, first of all, you're the fraction.
So they tried to sue us? Are you kidding me?
People, I don't know how you think that this is proportional, but it definitely wasn't. Second of all, according to the Amity Act, you absolutely should not have attacked their oil rigs. This is probably a war crime.
Bullshit. They weren't even, those were definitely not civilian ships. They had anti-aircraft guns on the rig itself and military personnel. There's no way that should qualify. That's what I was saying earlier. These guys try to get civilian craft and structures like rigs and tankers to be classified as civilian vessels or structures, but they're not. They're not. They're military.
At which point the representative for America is like, well, actually, if you read the Amity Treaty between Iran and the United States, it only talks about ships and boats. It don't say shit about oil rigs, meaning I wasn't obligated to not attack those oil rigs.
Hey, if that's what the law says, hey, hey, what do you, hey, that's what, read it. It's right there.
At which point the court is like, hold on.
What?
Fucking, he's right, son of a bitch. Okay, well, I guess America's innocent.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Yes, this is, oh my gosh, I didn't remember even half of that. How old is this? 2 years ago? All right. Man, that's so good. That is just too good. Holy crap. That's probably the best Fat Electrician video like ever. Like ever. Let's give that a post here. You guys can link it to your friends, give it a like, all that good stuff. America's innocent. And that's how it ended. So, all right. Sorry, I had a text message there. Okay, so we got oh, this is something you shared with me earlier. Shirtugal, let me find it. Mana. There it is. Okay. Just barely. Okay. This is much shorter. Thank you so much for posting that in chat. Shirtugal from Kick. One of my moderators, an OG of the channel. Good friend, good dude. We're both fans of many streamers, Nuxanor, Ember Paradox, the like. So shout out to the man. And oh, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't have record on for that last video. Oh, that makes me sad. That's okay. I'll download the VOD and then I'll edit it out. Oh, that's so much work. That's okay. Not a problem. I swear I clicked record on that. Okay. Well, this one we're not going to forget. Hey YouTube, it's me. We're back with another React video. Asmongold's defamation case by Legal Mindset. Of course, you can join us live on Kick and YouTube and Twitch. We stream live on all three, so you can join the chat. Check us out while we're having fun live while we do these reacts and more. But as for the VOD Squad, we still love you. Hope you like it. Comment down below. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you think. If you agree, disagree, all that good stuff. And hit the subscribe button for more. And let's get into the video.
Asmongold has a very clear defamation case that he should pursue if he decides that's worth it for him.
See, and so like I knew and I had heard that he was embroiled in like some legal battles, and that's the extent of my knowledge. So this is actually gonna be the first time I'm actually digging into this.
Himself. Of course, as Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney living over here in Asia. And this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So let's jump right into it with our PowerPoint here. In case you guys aren't familiar with Asmongold, he's a little bit of a thing, a little bit of a big streamer. And he's got enough clout, enough power, enough resources to actually go through with these lawsuits. And this puts him in a much better and bigger position than he would be elsewise if he was somebody else other than Asmongold. But because he is Asmongold, he has this golden opportunity to go through with a defamation lawsuit. So let's get into it. What are the parties? Well, the potential plaintiffs are both Asmongold and the person that was actually defamed as well, Case, the streamer over here. You see her here is Asmongold's Case. They are collaborators. They are, as far as my research went into this topic, just friends. They never appeared to be dating, etc. But even if they were, that wouldn't be a problem, as we will show here as the facts go on. So the defendants, well, they're really accounts, rather anonymous accounts, on two different profiles on X, formerly Twitter, and of course on Reddit. We see some kind of usual suspects here. If you guys have been following the coverage from Ethan Klein, you know about the lawsuits, the Jane and John Does.
I do remember seeing that chick, and I thought she was his girlfriend at one point, but I don't know. I don't care.
Of Reddit that are being sued in the
I don't think it
lawsuit.
matters. I'm pretty sure at the time I remember people telling me about her that she was already like a streamer, and like even I think she was like an OnlyFans chick and stuff already. And this was like for many years, long before she met Asmongold. So yeah.
This is very, very similar, where we have anonymous accounts that would be identified. Now, in a recent video, Asmongold did say he's already got the name.
This is actually crazy to say about somebody, right? Crazy to say. I'm thinking, like, you know, I'm already in a lawsuit, right? I'm already in a lawsuit. I'm already regularly talking to lawyers. Maybe I should sue this guy. We just make stuff up.
Yeah, this is actually where I had learned that he was already engaged in like lawsuits. So, which would mean that he hasn't gone through with this particular lawsuit yet, right? That's right, right?
Up now? That's a serious accusation to tweet with no receipts. I'll talk to my lawyers next time I have a meeting with them. Then I'll see kind of what their input is, right? It's so cringe to see something like that happen.
Now, that's relevant because maybe there's some other information he wants to get through a subpoena from X or from Reddit. But if he's already got the names, that's more than half of the battle.
Guys, real quick reminder, both on the YouTube side and the live stream, we do have a stretch goal for the channel. I have found an artist that can rig, program, and model the VTuber model that's going to be assigned to the head tracking camera for my channel. It's right there on screen. Do give if you can. I would surely appreciate it. You know, I hate doing this kind of thing because I feel awkward about it. I haven't really done that before. But it's one of those things I just can't do without the help, right? So like, I would really appreciate it. I'd love to get better and more quality content for you guys out there. So keep that in mind. And that's the last I'll speak of it in this video. Okay, guys?
Battle. The opening statement. So essentially, Asmongold has faced baseless PDF, and yes, we're saying PDF because we want to stay YouTube friendly, allegations in early January 2026, stemming from a viral X post which falsely claimed he was dating streamer K's when she was underage. She was not underage. That was a
crap. I forgot. See, I don't do this ever. I just don't do it. The links to all the places that you can donate can be found on the live stream, on Kick, on YouTube, etc. I have links to all of those sites down in the description below if you're watching on the VOD Squad. If you're watching live, they are in below underneath the player itself. Should be, hopefully. And if not, well, then I need to get them there. I surely appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. It should be a PayPal account, etc. Now, moving on. Sorry about that.
Falsity of that post. Her age was misrepresented as 17, even though she was over 20, right? Not over 30. No hag maxing here. The post had over 130K likes and was engaged with by millions of people before deletion. I'm going to show you that post in a second. Asmongold has called the allegations completely false. So the alleged, misrepresentation of age, etc., completely false, and threatened defamation against anyone spreading that misinformation. So not just the OP, but other accounts. And there were other accounts, and there are other accounts that still have that information up now.
Thanks, Elrich. Much love.
Nowadays. Defense of the poster. Well, there really is hard to defend.
Okay, hang on. Asmongold has faced baseless PDF allegations in early January 2026, stemming from an yep. We all saw that. Yeah, so she was over 20. She was like mid-20s when they were seen together, like on screen and stuff. So that settles that. Has been called to the defense of the poster is that the tweet was deleted, but has been reported by several other accounts on X and Reddit.
Or girl, whoever it is. But they say, hey,
doesn't matter if
tweet,
it was deleted,
but not before it was viewed by millions, not before the harm was done, and not before others
harm was done
it on X and Reddit. So that is a very, very weak defense if you're looking at it from the side of which side the burden is going to fall more on, and that's on the defense at this point, because unless you've got some secret proof, this looks like a very clear-cut, bulletproof defamation case. In case you don't know, here's the original post, and of course, this is false. So this is false information. So this account, which once again, I'm not going to try to signal boost that account or person, but just saying he was 33, she was 17. Asmongold is and this word, the word that means criminal, with someone who is underage, right? I'm censoring that word. We all know what that is, right? And you see a picture here now.
Oh, right. Pedo. Yeah, pedo. File. Pedophile is what he said. The Asmongold was. Which he absolutely clearly wasn't, isn't, never has been, never will be. That's a clear-cut case of defamation. Absolutely.
Now, to me, this is absolutely ridiculous. It reminds me of kind of the height of consent argument, where, okay, you have to be so high to consent. And as a tall guy, it's always like, what, am I not allowed to date short girls, right? People are not allowed to go down. And it always is the kind of meme of 5'7" guys versus 5'7" girls. It's much different if it's a girl, right? The girl's super tall. A 5'7" guy is a shrimp, right? You're not allowed to date short guys, girls. You're not allowed to do it. But it's kind of a ridiculous argument. And frankly, if you look at this girl case here and you see a child, you are the problem. The problem is not the person who is dating this person or friends with this person or whatever. You are definitely the problem. And looking at the particular evidence here in Uncle Mindset's evidence locker, I would say that a lot of evidence leads me to believe this is not an underage person, just based on basic appearance. But hey, that's me living over here in Asia. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Now let's go to the argument. The original poster, now deleted, is the best target. He's the best target legally, and that's the person that the majority of the blame could be falling on. Other accounts repost the same information, and they can also be added as parties. But here's the thing. Many of these people are probably going to be judgment proof. So the purpose of this lawsuit, the key of this lawsuit, is to set a precedent. Very similar to the Klein case, which is setting a precedent regarding the retrieving information on anonymous accounts on Reddit. In this case, you'd be setting a precedent for the use of this word, right? And the ubiquitous use of this word on platforms with no patrolling, no fact checking, nothing else. People have been using this word, and it's really harmful because it is defamatory and criminal.
No kidding.
So Asmongold.
Oh, Rich, they outright lie, then cry wolf in defense. I didn't mean it. Yeah, exactly.
Would be able to subpoena people on X and Reddit, similar to the Klein case, for both user data and preservation of evidence, and it's best done ASAP. There's a short statute of limitations on this, only 1 to 3 years, so he's got to get moving on this within the next year or two. The law does prevent direct suit of X or Reddit, which is under Section 230. Now, I obviously, on this channel, if you've been watching it for a while, have a problem with that. I do think some of these 230 protections should be lightened up in cases like these where they failed to protect against a very common thing. This is something that's known. These 230 lawsuits, the 230 protections have prevented lawsuits from use of these words, and this word is very harmful to people. It causes huge reputational damage, and we're seeing some precedent in the case for these type of subpoenas, and I hope perhaps increased responsibility on the part of the platforms. Last, there's also the possibility to file it as a John Doe lawsuit. So even if you didn't know who it is, and Asmongold does say he knows who it is, but even if he didn't, he could seek the identity through a subpoena of the ISP, the internet service provider, and seek damages for reputational harm, emotional distress, economic losses, things that would be very significant in his case. Now, my judgment, my ruling on this far is that Asmon is large enough to force changes, right, on the platform, to the platform itself as a result of legal action. Internal compliance departments, that is within these platforms, would be forced to take actions regarding unsupported criminal allegations. So what that means is when people are jumping on these platforms, whether it's X, whether it's Reddit, etc., and they're making these criminal claims, they're saying this person is a criminal, maybe these platforms have to vet that. We're not saying you're calling them bad or mean words. No, you're putting a criminal allegation against them. You're not just calling them a mean doo-doo head.
Yeah,
right?
No
You're
kidding.
going beyond that and saying this person is a criminal. Because remember, calling someone a PDF is a criminal allegation. Right? It's very...
Yeah, people cannot just say that. That has serious legal implications. And if it isn't true, it absolutely is defamation. And everybody knows that. I mean, it's unambiguous. This is crystal freaking clear.
Very serious. So serious that, in fact, the algorithm doesn't even like use of that word, right? If Asmongold is mentally and financially capable, because remember, this is extreme stress. It's really bad for your mental health. It's really financially costly. But I think he's got the money and he seems solid enough so far. I think it would be a net good for him, for the internet, if he actually did pursue this.
I did
actually
too.
Set an example of this person and say, hey, you cannot do this.
Yep, put him in the box.
As it is going to burden his life, even if all the conditions are in his favor. But I do think he should do it if he feels he's up to it. That's my take, guys. What do you think? I want to know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Put him in the box. That's what I say. Absolutely. 100. Abso-freaking-lutely. Put him in the box. They done messed up. A precedent's right there. This is really long. I might do this one tomorrow. Oh, the Greenland thing? Yep. Okay, this one I haven't started yet. 15 minutes? Okay, let's do this.
So Iranian soldiers about to be puking and internally bleeding? I'm gonna be real, like if I was part of the IRGC and I saw what happened in Venezuela,
the Ayatollah,
I would be roaching the fuck out. I would be gone.
Hell yeah,
dude. All
dude.
their nuke stuff blown up too. Like I'd be freaking the fuck out.
All right, it is 9 minutes after
I wouldn't
the top of
blame
the
him
hour.
either.
The president of Iran
They ought to be.
is warning the United States that if any attacks on their supreme leader
And if they're not, they should be.
could constitute an all-out war. As President Trump calls for an end to the Ayatollah's reign.
So Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst all over this. He joins us from Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Over the weekend, Iran's supreme leader continued to attack President Trump and the United States of America. The Ayatollah...
Not smart. Not smart at all.
On Twitter. On Twitter.
Yeah, he was he was attacking Trump on X, bro.
Addressed a crowd on Saturday that was chanting death to America and death to Israel as he called President Trump a criminal. The remarks, which were broadcast on state-controlled media, followed a slew of X posts where he falsely claimed the U.S. orchestrated the mass killing and chaos in Iran.
What? We consider the U.S. president a criminal for the casualties, damages, and the slander he inflicted on the Iranian nation.
In an interview with Politico, President Trump responded saying it's time to look for new leadership in Iran. And on Sunday, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian warned that any aggression against the supreme leader would be considered an all-out war. As the country's leadership is discussing more about the protests, new video provided to Fox News by a source in Tehran shows Iranians gathered outside of a morgue demanding answers about their loved ones.
Yeah, because all the people were getting killed. That's why they turned off the internet, obviously. That's what
Iranian
happened.
regime is now admitting at least 5,000 people were killed during these demonstrations.
Anybody could see
the true number is likely much higher and could be in the tens of thousands, according to some estimates.
It's probably
Another
in the tens of
source
thousands.
the predominantly Kurdish Iranian city of Kermanshah told Fox News that he saw bodies in the streets and that security forces came and took some of the bodies away. Around the world, protests and vigils have been held for those Iranians who were killed and the thousands that remain imprisoned following the crackdown.
Well,
surely they're going to let them out of jail, right?
Message here is keep
for sure.
Surely
they will.
Yeah, and what's really important is, as the vigil tonight is calling for, is all political prisoners need to be free. So President Trump should set that as a new red line to have the Iranian regime release 50,000 protesters, peaceful protesters that were arrested by the regime.
There's nothing that you can do. You have to get rid of them, because if you don't get rid of them, they're just going to go after and get these people later on. Like, it's not like they can't just kill them later. So they'll do this to make Trump relent on them, and then they're going to turn around and start doing the same thing again. Like, it's not like you can just, you pinky promised. That doesn't mean, it's not how it works. They're just going to change their mind.
So we're asking the White House, keep the pressure on Iran.
Here in Israel, the military and political echelons continue to hold consultations about the possibility of war with Iran. Guys, back to you.
I don't think there's going to be a war.
Trey, the death toll you kind of indicated is higher than listed. I've heard 16,500. I've heard 300,000 have been hurt. What numbers are you getting?
Yeah, the death toll is far higher than we even know. The Iranians themselves are admitting 5,000 killed amid these demonstrations. Human rights organizations say the number could be north of 12 or even 16,000. The issue here is an internet blackout, making it incredibly difficult to get information.
Well, it's just like, logically, why would they turn off the internet? They obviously turned it off so they could kill their people. So there wouldn't be as much of an international outrage over it. That's clearly what happened. I don't see how anybody would not come to that immediate conclusion.
The ground
let's
in
be
Iraq.
honest.
I've been speaking with Iranians who are using Starlink satellite uplinks.
Suspicious?
It doesn't. There's really no getting around it, guys. Come on. What are we talking about here?
And they say that they have seen hundreds killed in their cities.
Holy fuck.
Kermanshah in the predominantly Kurdish area of Iran. Further south of Tehran, in Isfahan, in the capital.
What gets me is the rest of the world is silent. We have a literal crime against humanity happening, and the U.S. are the only ones wanting to do something about it. The global community are a bunch of cucks, and their opinions on everything should be ignored. I think that people, I think you're right. Yeah, true.
Tehran, you're getting similar reports, and also horrific images are being shared showing how these security forces opened fire on crowds of people, aiming at their eyes, trying to blind the demonstrators.
Of course.
And so while the Iranian regime is trying to block us from reporting, we're doing everything we can to get around those hurdles so that we can bring this information to the world.
And to that point, Trey, yesterday on this program, we interviewed an Iranian American.
Yeah, there's really, I think that's correct. That's basically the take, right? They're just, I can't see any other way to look at it. I think that's spot on. That's right on the money. That's obviously the way things are going.
Moj Madara, who has a lot of family still inside Iran, she put that death toll 16 to 20,000. She said, and I asked her, you know, what are the people in Iran right now really focused on needing? And they said that Starlink has got to continue to come, and that's the only way the true story is getting out. Are you hearing any more about the Starlink efforts to keep those coming into the country?
Yeah, Griff, absolutely. These Starlink terminals are the only way that much of Iran is able to communicate with the outside world, and the regime knows this. And so I've talked with sources who say that security forces are going.
Well, they're even trying to jam the Starlink too, in order to like stop.
They obviously are trying to, like, that's the only thing they can really try to do, and it's really the only thing that it's the least they have. It would be the one way that they could, Iranian citizens could get things out, and the best chance that they have to get things out, because it would be the hardest thing for Iranian military to try to block, because it's not something like, if you get one of those antennas, one of those receivers, those satellite dish finder things, they're just like it's like a square rectangular board, right? And like, you just put that out on the ground. Hook it up to your computer and you have internet. And like, if you can just, secretly have that done, just lay that shit out somewhere, it's like, they can't know where any and all locations where that's happening. They just can't. So that would be the hardest thing for them to block. They could try some sort of mass bandwidth or 5G interference. I don't know. I don't even know, but I don't know that it would work, because we have 5G towers everywhere here and none of it interferes. Like, I don't know how you could interfere with the, low Earth orbit satellite internet that is Starlink, right? I just don't. I have Starlink, right? And it's a really, really good internet, because I'm kind of rural. And it's the fastest internet available to where I'm at, and it's really good. Like, I'm streaming on all three platforms, and streaming, downloading videos, whatever. And I can download games in the background simultaneously, and none of that is a problem, right? Like, that's most people also, right? Like, for cable internet people, but like, that's really good for satellite. And that used to not be able to get that for satellite internet.
More people from communicating and being able to get messages out of Iran.
To door in major cities.
It goes to show absolutely useless the UN is. Yeah, no, the US should never pay attention to the UN. Like, the UN is only useful for bullying small countries in Africa. That's it.
Trying to look for Starlink terminals to confiscate them, and then
yeah, it's amazing. It's really like basically cable internet the way it was in like 2010, 12, 13, 14, right ish. The best cable internet you could get back then, right? And that used to be impossible for any satellite internet, like, just totally impossible. Ain't gonna happen. No way, no how. And yet here we are, and it's phenomenal, right? Like, it'll probably, obviously, never be as fast as, on the ground land cable connections, because you just can't do that. Like, it's got a lot more distance to travel, and it's wireless. And wireless is always going to have some kind of latency plus the distance. So, but for what it is unbelievably fast, right? The latency factor is the only real issue. But when it comes to bandwidth, like, eventually it will compete bandwidth wise with the best there is in land cable and fiber optic internet. With enough satellites, you can carry enough bandwidth.
Rest the people that are using them to communicate with the outside world. There are a number of SIM cards from other countries that are also working in Iran, giving a small group of people the
ping will always be worse, but bandwidth will eventually be able to tie with cable. And it'll be cheaper than cable.
ability to phone the outside world, but it truly is an internet blackout, and it's creating a scenario where we know just 1 or 2% of the reality on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And the images that we're getting now are predominantly coming from state media, and so they're certainly sterilized.
I wonder what that's going to be.
And the comments that you heard earlier from Iran's supreme leader directly taunting President Trump, who has called for the regime to stop this crackdown on protesters and to immediately halt any sort of executions that were planned.
Trey, what about the executions? Last week, there was supposed to be that 26-year-old, 24-year-old young man that was supposed to be...
Yeah, so Israel is paying for the Starlink, regardless of what's good or bad. Would this not help fit the narrative that Israel is fomenting the riots? No, I thought Elon Musk was paying for it. Starlink isn't owned by Israel. It's owned by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Hanged. But then there were 800 more that
I don't understand. Why would anybody think that it was owned by Israel? That's so stupid.
were supposed to be executed.
As far as I
Trump
know.
got involved and warned them against that. What's the latest there?
What we understand right now is that that was a temporary
You want to do
measure
it for
to stop
free?
these
Yeah,
executions
providing it
in
for
Iran,
free.
and it's something the Trump administration is going to have to watch closely, understanding that the Iranian regime has a long history of executing political prisoners, executing people without trial. And that is the concern of the thousands of Iranian protesters who were taken to these prisons and jails across the country, that they could be killed at a later date once international attention shifts away from Iran. So the message that we're receiving from not only Iranian...
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to wait it out so it leaves the news cycle, and then they're going to just systematically kill all of the people that were protesting against them. That's what they're going to do. I mean, if I were the Iranian government, that's what I would do. I would just say, like, yeah, let's turn off the internet. Nobody will be able to talk about this.
Yeah, but they can't turn off. This is what I'm saying. There is no data center, control center, hub, or like switch facility, right? Like in the backbone of the internet on the ground, there's all kinds of internet hubs, internet backbone facilities. These are data centers, processing centers where traffic is directed according to internet protocols or the IPsec suite, right? And I know this because a IT security, CompTIA Security Plus certified technician, right? That's what I used to do. And so I know how the LAN-based technology works for all internet, fiber optic or cable or otherwise, anything that runs along the ground. Right. And that, or even cell phone towers, right? Because it goes to the tower, but then the tower has a LAN fiber optic cabling or copper cabling that connects to hubs. And those hubs are like ginormous switch control centers or data centers that then redirect traffic like elsewhere. And then there's like, like power, surge, like to like boost the signal, the amount of electricity that is needed to keep those going over long distances over cable or fiber optic. But other than that, it's all basically ginormous hubs and control centers and data switch control centers. But nothing like that is on the ground for Starlink. It's all done in fucking space. They can't control that. They have they do like, what are they gonna do? Launch missiles at, I don't even know if they have ground to low Earth orbit missiles. I seriously doubt it. And even if they did, no missile is fast enough to catch a satellite in orbit that's moving at 17,500 miles an hour. That's escape velocity, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't hitting that. We don't even have missiles that can go that fast. Right? Like the whole point of getting like escape velocity is insane. You have to use these massive rockets to get these satellites up there at that speed to then just let them go and float out into space at that speed, right? 17,500 miles. That's minimum escape velocity from Earth's gravity. That's way faster than any, like, basically it takes ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to reach that kind of speed. You see what I'm getting at? And Iran does not have those. Like, there's only like 3 countries in the world that has anything close to that, and that would be China, Russia, us. maybe I think France, I'm not sure, maybe Israel, but that like very few. We don't have anything that goes that fast that we know of. No, I'm like the fastest hypersonic, they call it, missile in China, which supposedly exceeds the fastest missiles we have, was something like 7,000 miles an hour. Now that's Mach 2. Anything above Mach 2 or Mach whatever, something like that, is considered hypersonic, right? But escape velocity is like Mach 6 or 7. It's you need massively much more powerful, like it's all fuel. That's why when you see rockets that are actually going into orbit, it's just fuel. Like that whole huge penis looking thing is nothing but solidified, condensed, solid, like actually solid hydrogen and oxygen. That's how condensed it is. It is so tightly packed that it turns the gas not to a liquid, but even further into a solid. And then as it gets projected out, it goes from a liquid to a gas and then just erupts. Like, and it's a controlled explosion. This is why they say rocket science is really hard. Because when you're going to space, you're talking about a kind of technology that is leagues above your standard missiles. Only the nuclear missiles and ICBMs have that kind of capability. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. It's just not economically or militarily cost effective to make missile heads with that you put it on that kind of a rocket. Okay? Because that kind of delivery system is exponentially more expensive. Right? The cost there is you're talking about something that is meant to go and blow up. It's meant to go blow something up. So the kind of technology you put into a rocket that's going into outer space is so expensive that typically they're not designed to be something that is meant to just like go and blow something up, because that's such a huge waste of money. I mean, if every missile we had cost something like the rockets that go into space, like Starship or the Falcon 9 rocket or the USS Enterprise, our space shuttle, well, we would never use it. Because each one of those missiles would cost so damn much that we just wouldn't use it. You see what I'm saying? Like it is that big of a difference.
We'll just take the names down of all these people that are problematic, and then we'll just kill them next month, right? Or 2 months from now or something. Like, I mean, that's clearly what you should do. Like, if you were them, that's what you would do.
Demonstrators, but also the Iranian diaspora around the world, is to continue speaking about Iran over concern not just of those who were killed, but also those who remain in Iranian prisons.
Yeah, I thought that 24-year-old was beaten to death in prison. That's a report I had heard.
Oh, crap.
So he wasn't executed. They just killed him in prison. Okay, that's great.
Arnia, who's head the Mossad, is now in Florida, meeting with Steve Witkoff.
Anyways, I hope you guys on the YouTube side, that clears everything. If anybody has any questions, or if I got something wrong, I'm sure I did. You know, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I do know about internet protocols and bandwidth and the technology that underlies the internet backbone of America and all that stuff. So my point was, it would be insanely impossible, it is virtually impossible for a country like Iran specifically to be able to blow up the internet capabilities of a company like Starlink. It's just not something they can actually feasibly have any control over, because it's all in space. And they just don't have the tech, the missile tech, to get there. That's the whole point of what I was saying, guys.
And others. So real quick, Trey, why do you think Netanyahu went public and said, we really don't think the president should act now? Why do you think he tried to make sure the president didn't act?
I don't know why.
There are a couple things to consider here, but when you look to last summer during June of 2025, there was a 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and we were reporting here on the ground in the Middle East amid that incoming ballistic missile fire. Around half of the missiles that were shot down were actually shot down by U.S. vessels and air defense systems who were helping the Israelis to ensure that their airspace was clear amid this.
Oh, they want to have the boats over there so they can stop it preemptively. That's probably what it is.
One of a number of reasons why the Israelis may have asked for a delay in a possible strike on Iran, understanding that if this leads to an all-out war, the Israelis are going to need the assistance of the United States.
Did the same thing. Israel attacked Iran.
Thank you very much.
The Trump administration decided against the military intervention because the Israeli government and their counterparts.
That all Elrich on Kick says that all makes sense, and he's right about escape velocity. I checked. Yeah, I've constantly and I'm into this shit big time when it comes to like SpaceX and NASA and all these documentaries about going to Mars and the moon and all the missions. I love all that shit. So and astrophysics, I watch constantly about stuff like that, and I study it all the time online, and I have for like 15, 20 years. Yeah. I've memorized that statistic, that fact. Yeah, I'm certain of that.
Told them not to do that. But Donald Trump did say he will take strong actions if the Iranian government begins executing those protesters.
I think that you just can't trust them. Like at this point,
Shout out to my science fans out there. That's just me. I'm a big fan.
I mean, like if you've got your guys out there on the street, you've turned off the internet and they're just killing people. Like there's enough videos and like images that have come out already that have like just piles of body bags of people. I mean, it's pretty obvious that people are getting killed en masse over there. So like just imagine how bad it actually is. I mean, if you're going to do something, now's the time to do something.
Governor.
True,
if they want to have the boats get over there.
Now is the time. But I don't know if we will. I know today Trump announced the deal we made about Greenland, and he seems to be happy about it, so I'm happy about it. With regard to Iran, I don't know, guys. It could go either way. Elrich Science Fan here. Hey, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
There first. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Sure. I mean, like from a logical perspective.
Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
More broadly, as a Jewish leader yourself, are you surprised that we're not seeing more demonstrations in support of Iranian people, for instance, trying to liberate themselves from this oppressive regime like we saw with protesters rallying for Palestine when Israel was being accused of genocide?
Well, the reason why is because leftist people have been captured by Islam.
Yeah.
And they view Islam as a good thing. So if they see Islamic regime,
which is diametrically opposed to the far left woke progressive agenda. It's so far apart in belief systems, it's shocking. It's so shocking, guys. Really.
Regimes falling apart, they will actually fall off on the side of being on the same side of an Islamic regime. That's the reason why. It's so weird. Yeah.
I don't think it matters that I'm Jewish when I say this. I think what matters is that we should all stand up and acknowledge the extraordinary bravery that we're seeing from the Iranian people who are taking to the streets, knowing that their lives could be cut short by this repressive regime who are out killing these protesters. I think it is extraordinary what we're seeing.
Wow, I'm actually shocked. Josh Shapiro, a Democrat, by the way, is actually speaking this way. I mean, that kind of goes to show you he's all Democrat and progressive agenda, blah, 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 woke bullshit, all to the max up until the point that it involves Israel. And then he calls on U.S. to be the policeman. Of course he does.
In Iran.
It's just hypocritical. It's so hypocritical, you guys.
No, it is. It's obviously insane.
Interesting. He's on a book.
Even though I agree with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I agree.
Tour.
We got about what?
Short.
Holy cow! My girl, Ember, what's up? Yo, how was the stream? GBP. Sure, Toogle, it's Ember. What's up, guys? What's up, y'all?
by this repressive regime who are out killing these
How was
protesters.
the stream tonight, Ember?
I think it is extraordinary what we're seeing in Iran.
Yeah, I mean, you got Josh Shapiro here, a Democrat, who is very all about the progressive far left agenda up until it comes to Israel. And then he's like, oh, these, brave Iranians, which, like, I agree with him. Brave Iranians standing up for human rights, and they want their women to be treated better. I mean, obviously, but like, it is hypocritical where he's like in support of it there and that way, and wants America to be the police chief around the world, but like diametrically opposed to us being the policemen in our own backyard, like for Venezuela or Greenland or something like that. It is hilarious. I mean, let's be honest, it's really kind of funny. Guys, I am so happy to see you all in chat. My name's Lyrith. This is Lyrith TV. We're just doing some reacts here to Asmongold. We got a lot to cover today. I pretty much got what I wanted out of this. The next thing we're going to move on to, you guys, big things happening. Big things happening. The defamation lawsuit. We did that react. We did that react. We did that react. France. Oh, yeah. So I paused it right here because I watched the intro to this. This video is Nick Shirley. And he is now literally testifying in front of Congress. In front of Congress, guys. Eminency, Ember Raid followed because of Ember. Catch you next time. Hey, thanks for the follow, Eminency. I really appreciate you. Love you guys. I really appreciate you. Hope you stick around. Join the chat. If you got the time, if you got to go to bed, that's cool too. We're just going to finish this one out with a react to questions from Congress directed at Nick Shirley about the fraud that he's found in Minnesota. So let's get into it. This is going to be good, guys.
Mr. Shirley, now I guess investigative journalists are known as right-wing social media influencers. So,
oh man, it's going to make me cringe to do this. It's going to make me cringe. Guys, we do have a stretch goal. I am determined to get that VTuber model. Got an artist that has been suggested to me by one of Donut Operator's mods, Aosabi. Shout out to Aosabi. Love you, man. He connected me with somebody who can do this. And it's something I just couldn't do on my own. So we do have a stretch goal for that. All the love and appreciation for anybody who can help me out with that. I would really love to get to that goal by the end of the month. If I can't, that's okay. I'm going to just keep pushing. Love you guys. Thanks for all the support. Thank you for the follows. Ultimate Crusader over on YouTube. I love Nick Shirley. Me too, brother. Me too. America, baby. And look, all he's doing is just showing you what's there. Like, what do you have to complain about?
can you confirm how many daycare centers you personally visited in Minnesota during your investigation?
During that first video, we went to around 7.
How did you select those facilities? I know you said earlier footprints in the snow, but how was it that you identified those facilities to go to initially?
So the man David in the video, he had the daycares with the CCAP funding, and we just simply drove around Minnesota and around Minneapolis area.
Took a lot of courage to do that. I would
Heck yeah, Elrich.
Probably more so now than what it was when you initially did it. 100 million views, you said.
Yes, over 140 million views on X alone.
So what was Mr. David's background? How did you connect with him?
140 million views on X. Bro, what's it up to? What do you guys think it's up to now? Huh? Did I spell it right? Hold up. What do we think it's up to? There it is. Yep. 140 million right there, bro. Holy crap. He's right on the money.
And how did he call you or did you reach out?
He simply is a man in Minnesota who has a passion for his city, and he's been seeing fraud taking place for years. And Out of all the thousands of messages I get on Instagram and other platforms, I just happened to read his, and he provided me the information, so I gave him a phone call.
And then from there, just went to those different facilities. What was probably the most interesting thing as you were doing this? I think I saw the video. We watched it, and it looked like there was a number of facilities like in the same building.
Yeah.
Yes. So in one building, there was, I believe, 3 daycares, and there was no children, and they were all.
Yeah, they're all like health and human service. Dude, these guys, the fraud that they're committing. Look. I love to do this meme because it just says it all for me, and I don't have to say shit. All you gotta do. Put them in the box, bro. In the box. In you go. Hop in.
Receiving CCAP funding for separate daycares. There's one daycare we went to that one day it was closed by the government, and then that same day it was reopened underneath another name. And they both received CCAP funding.
So how many daycares are there in Minneapolis we think are fraudulent right now? Ms. Shirley, any idea? Or the amount of money total? You get any idea?
Well, they've frozen over $185 million, and not a single business has been able to prove that they're a legitimate business yet.
It's $185 million for sure.
None of them have proven that they were a legitimate business. Still, guys. What? I mean,
sure that we know.
Mr. Shirley, thank you for your testimony today. And
oh no. Oh wait, let's not prejudge just because he's from California. Let's give him a fair shake. What's his name? Kylie? Oh boy.
And the work that you've done. Americans hear these numbers of the fraud that we have, and whether it's 10,000 or 10 million or 10 billion, sometimes the numbers, you almost become desensitized to it. And so the way that you
don't downplay it,
your video was able to show people the fraud sort of in real life actually happening, I think opened a lot of eyes and has helped to catalyze a level of scrutiny that we really should have had before. So you mentioned in your testimony that you think that what you discovered in Minnesota, that this is not isolated to that state, but likely exists in other parts of the country as well, correct?
I mean, it's pretty like, guys, what are the chances do you think? Everybody let me know. You tell me. What are the chances? Oh yeah, there's probably more of this going around. Like, in a lot of places. Like, obviously. I mean, if it's happening here, it's happening other places. Like, come on. Are you kidding me?
Correct. What makes you think that?
Well, now you're seeing, since I've posted that video.
You could extrapolate that just using common sense, but I'm sure he also did his homework on this.
Lots of other people have started to go to other locations, for instance, in Ohio or in Maine or in California. They're also seeing the similar fraud take place in other daycares, for instance, in a lot of other locations.
Yeah, I have a particular interest in California, being from that state, and we know that there's been a lot of fraud. There was $32.6 billion that's been confirmed in unemployment insurance fraud. There's 1.2 million fraudulent community college applications. Have you gotten any sense, or have you seen any signs there that sort of are similar to what aroused your suspicions in Minnesota?
Yeah, and fraud in California might be worse than the fraud in Minnesota.
What makes you say that?
Well, 20.
Oh, that I believe 100%. Bro, don't they have that high-speed rail to nowhere? Isn't that California? I'm pretty sure. It's supposed to go from L.A. to San Francisco, right? Oh, the man talking to Nick right now from California is a Republican? No! They got one? We got one on the inside, boys! It's okay! It's all right. We got like, what district is this guy from? He's got to feel like Israel in the Middle East, like surrounded. Bro, how the hell? That's amazing. That is so funny, dude. 32 billion in the entire national debt. Just from, I mean, trillion would be the debt, right? We're talking 1,000 times that. So 32 billion times 1,000 would be 32 trillion. That is our debt. So our debt is way higher, but still, this takes a bite. This is a big chunk. This is not a nibble. This is a big ass bite, right? Out of the pizza, you just put your face in it and took a big ass chunk out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
$4 billion went missing for homelessness. They've been trying to build this train for years, yet there's hardly...
The train! I called it! You don't need a poly market for this shit. I'm telling you, bro. The train to nowhere.
Anything to prove for that. Fires.
Yeah, those are good points. So you look at let's run through a couple.
Okay, I like this guy. VDog82. By the way, Man Talking to Nick is a Republican. Bro, shout out to VDog. Okay. I misjudged Mr. Kiley. I apologize. You can't blame me though. Only one Democrat showed up to talk to. No way! They didn't grill him? You're kidding. You're kidding me. There wasn't the CNN Karens of the Senate just like showing up trying to like rail this dude. They just flat out like, no, hide my face, turn away. No, bro, get the camera away. Don't look at me. I'm not here. I have nothing to say on the matter. Are you shitting me? They roached out? Bro, the Dems roached out. Why? You come on, people. Look, I hate being political, guys. I really do, but this is just silly. This is so dumb. It's so obvious too. What are the chances, do you think, that any of the mainstream media is covering this at all?
Those. Because I mentioned the areas where we have confirmed fraud, but then you also have these areas where you have so much spending, and then we look at what results from that spending, and there's nothing. So $24 billion in homelessness, and yet the homeless population went up, and a state audit found that they couldn't even figure out where the money went or what the outcomes linked to that spending were. Is that something that is kind of a red flag for you?
Yeah, it's a major red flag, and you don't even have to be smart to be able to know that.
You know, yeah, he done it. Sure, Tugel says over on Kick, they're too busy shitting on Virginia right now. True. Ultimate Crusader over on YouTube. I love Nick Shirley. This dude is rocking. I can't believe that dude is actually a Republican from California. I know, right? They exist. It's like seeing, it's like, it's, bro. Elrich, none in mainstream media is garbo and lies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Elrich. Over on Kick. Yep, true.
That's a red flag.
Well, unfortunately, our state legislators haven't managed to figure that out, or at least the governor hasn't. So what are you saying about him?
They're not smart. No, but yeah, I mean, it's so obvious, and that's what we saw in Minnesota is how complicit the government has been in enabling this fraud to happen. Quality Learning Center had over 90 violations, yet they
Quality Learning Center! Oh, God. That's never going to get old, dude. That is never going to get old. Shout out Quality Learning Center. You guys are the GOATs. Bro, I love this.
$9 million.
Yeah, that's a great point. That there's the political accountability just hasn't been there, and that's what enables it to continue. So then you mentioned the high-speed rail as well. So there has been about $18 billion spent so far. No track has been laid, and not a single passenger has ridden the train. So when you spend $18 billion on a train and there's no train, does that raise suspicions for you?
Yes.
So
man, holy crap. Guys, it's a good time on the YouTube side to let you know. Don't forget, I'm going to be live every day this week. I start at usually 11 a.m. CST, somewhere around there. Maybe a little later some days. Tomorrow, I'm going until 2 p.m. CST. That's Central Standard Time. And then every other day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I am streaming from around that time, 11 a.m. CST, all the way until about 4 p.m. Maybe even later on Sunday night. So make sure to check in with the stream and leave a like and subscribe on the YouTube side if you're in the VODs, and check us out on the live stream at kick.com/LyrithTV.com.
You think that might be something worth looking at?
For sure.
We also had a $650 million 911 service that they scrapped after 6 years, so absolutely no value from it. Maybe that's another example where there might at least be questions.
I think you got a lot in California.
Bro, this is just... this is legendary, bro.
Right,
Holy
we'll
crap.
look forward to seeing what you find. We're certainly trying to use whatever tools we have here to bring more accountability in California as well.
Mr. Shirley, have you seen any evidence? You said twice today.
Okay, we got Chairman Biggs, Arizona Congressman. Got it.
That $185 million of recipients, not one of them has been able to demonstrate that they are a legitimate business.
No, in fact, they're actually actively suing the HHS too.
Oh my God. This, bro, okay, hold on.
On the last episode of United States, America, Nick Shirley goes into the depths of Minnesota, Minneapolis, and the city of hobos. The Somalians committing fraud there commit so much fraud that there is $82 billion or whatever in fraudulent taxpayer dollars going to these non-existent daycares. What will happen when Nick Shirley testifies in Congress? The Democrats get wrecked, prepared to defend themselves from getting completely butt-fucked by the incredible journalism that is Nick Shirley. Find out what happens next on this episode of U.S. America Z.
Prevent handing over any information.
Right, so they don't even want to give the information that would be required of an audit, that would be required from a separate independent investigation. They want a court to intervene and enjoin and prevent them from having to respond to this kind of investigation. Is that correct, Mr. Shirley?
That is correct.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. We are adjourned.
So we just
Bro!
finished up the hearing, and honestly,
I just can't. Oh God. Oh man. I can't even. All right, let's hear what he has to say. This is the aftermath. Let's go.
So we just finished up the hearing, and honestly, I'm a little disheartened by how it went because you had the Democrats on this side, you only had one man show up. While these people are congressmen of the United States, they're actively getting
Bro, you called it. One dude.
paid for a hearing, and they actually don't even show up. Just the fact that these people over here are getting
And they're still
paid,
getting what?
but they don't even show up to the hearings. What are we paying them for? That's when I mentioned in my testimony, we have these representatives, but are they actually representing us? So, very interesting.
That's a good point.
Hearing today. And remember, quality Leering hoodies are available on the site, shirleydefense.com. You can go to the link in the description or in the pinned comment down below.
Yes.
And I hope you guys all enjoyed my
Everybody
testimony.
should get one of these hoodies.
And what I
Let's
testified about
let's give this a link. Hang on.
today, the fraud is fraud, and we're going to continue to expose it. Thank you all very much for watching.
Chat, if you
Ilhan
agree.
Omar.
Ilhan Omar's office? Can you please give Ilhan Omar a quality Leering hoodie?
Quality Leering hoodie. All right. Thank you. Hope she likes it.
Oh my God, dude! What? Holy smokes! She took it! I can't believe she actually took it! What a legend! Bro, claps in the chat for Nick Shirley. Oh my God.
All right. Well, they took the hoodie. Ilhan Omar now has her own Quality Leering Center hoodie. And if you want one, you can go to shirleydefense.com or go to the link in my bio or in the description of this YouTube video. Wow. I hope she likes it.
I mean, I do too, man. I do too. That is, bro, bro, for Nick Shirley, put it together. What a show! Holy crap. crapanola. What an absolute legend. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious, you guys. Unfreaking real. Unbelievable. I'm Oh man. I hope she takes it with her when she gets deported. Amen, brother. Amen. All right, you guys, we're going to check out one of my favorite dudes on Kick. We got Blue Squadron here, an awesome IRL streamer and MMO player, playing all kinds of awesome games like Expedition 33 and all that. So give him a shout out. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Tomorrow I'm live again at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay? So I hope to see you all tomorrow. Please give me a check out, and because we often raid into Ember anyway at the end of our streams. It's very rare that I'm actually up this late and streaming. So I appreciate the raid once again, Ember. You're a legend. Love all you guys. And we will see you guys all tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Greatest stream ever. Bye-bye.